So I've had a dream for several years of going out to Bonneville and running a motorcycle in the speed trials. And so I decided that this is going to be the year. For this first year, I'm really just going out to learn a little bit more, so I'm not going to go too crazy with the bike. So what this is going to be about, this and the next few videos I post are all going to be about prepping this bike for Bonneville. So the event I'm racing in is the Bonneville Motorcycle Speed Trials, which is a motorcycle event, motorcycle only event that's at the end of August. There's a couple of other events that go on out there. They do have different rules. So the ones I'm focused on are the AMA rules for Bonneville Motorcycle Speed Trials. So what I'm running is a 1974 Honda CB200. It's for really not much more reason than I already have this bike. I like this bike. It's good and reliable. And more importantly, there is a class that there's a couple classes I can run in. There's the it's considered modified because I don't have original pegs or handlebars you can change. You can't change foot peg position without moving into modified class. So it's in the modified class. Classic because it's made before, I think 1981 is the cutoff where they call it classic. 250cc. This is only 200cc, so I'm well under the limit there. And then there's two subclasses under that. One for gasoline, where they provide the fuel, just normal pump gas, I believe, like premium pump gas. They provide it, they seal your tank so they know that that's what you're running for fuel. And then there's another one called the fuel class where it's essentially unlimited fuel. There isn't currently a record set in the 250cc modified classic fuel. So that's the class I'm going to run in just to make sure that there's a record set in that category. So the one requirement that you have to do for the fuel class above the gasoline class is you need to have a fuel shutoff that you can kill from the you need to be able to shut the fuel off without your hands leaving the handlebars. So we're going to work on that today. So first thing I want to do is I want to address the situation with the drain, with the petcock on the fuel. If you can see this one, the bike has two carburetors, and the way the original fuel system works is it splits directly coming out of the petcock. So if I was going to do the fuel shutoff, the electric fuel shutoff valve on this, I'd either have to take these two lines, go into one, and then take the one to go into the fuel shutoff, and then another split off afterwards, which is more plumbing and more restriction than I really want. The other option is, of course, I could put two electric fuel shutoff switches on there, but that's also more complexity. So what I've decided I'm going to do is I'm going to change to a normal petcock that has just a single output. Also, this is a larger output. I should be able to get better fuel flow. With the race gas I'm going to run, it's an oxygenated fuel where you do need to run it richer because it provides some of its own oxygen. And with the tiny fuel lines on that, I'm not sure if I'd get enough fuel flow. So I'm stepping up to 1/4 inch line, and then it'll split off and then step down to the appropriate size for the carburetor. Of course, you can see that these do not mount in the same way, not even similar. So what I need to do is I need to modify the tank a little bit. I bought a threaded bung that's the right size for this petcock to screw into. And so the plan is to cut a hole in my tank and weld this in. But actually I've decided I'm going to try something new. I'm going to try TIG brazing it. I've done brazing before many, many years ago where you normally use a oxyacetylene torch, which I don't have, but I'm going to try doing TIG brazing. So the difference between welding and brazing is with welding you actually melt both metals and add filler rod. So you would actually melt. So I've got a sheet that I'm going to practice on here. You would actually melt the base metal. You'd melt a little bit of this bung, and then add filler metal. It all becomes one piece. The problem here is this is thicker than the metal on the gas tank, and you have to add a lot more heat. You have more chance of burning through and creating more leaks. And it's going to warp more because of the amount of heat. So what I'm going to try the TIG brazing. So with TIG brazing, or with any kind of brazing, you don't actually melt the base metals. The filler rod, which is in this case a silicon bronze filler rod, melts at a much lower temperature. So you get the metal hot enough so that the base metal doesn't melt, but the filler rod will. And it's essentially like soldering, like you would do for plumbing pipes. So I spent some time just on the bare sheet metal, running some beads with the silicon bronze, trying to figure out some amperage settings. You know, I've got a few here that are too hot, one that is definitely too cold and it's just sitting on top. I think I've settled on about 35 to 40 amps seems to be about right. It really comes down to moving fast enough. But I figure if I start at 35 amps, I can always go up a little bit more and melt it in better. So I've gone ahead and cut a hole in the sheet. Luckily I had a hole saw just the right size. Now this bung has a little bit of a step on it, which is just perfect. And luckily I found a hole saw where just that step fits in, and it fits in nice and snug. So it's a good fit. You know, that's half the battle usually when you're welding parts, is getting things fit up just right. I've wiped it down with some acetone, and I'm gonna try to braze this on. Like I said, I've got 2 of these, so I'm gonna use this one just as practice before I potentially damage the tank. Well, it's not real pretty, but for as far as practice goes, I think it was successful. I've still got a lot of spots that are not welded in all the way, but the spots where I really did get the heat right look pretty good. I realized the thing I was doing wrong for a lot of it is I had the heat too cold. I had to sit there way too long on it, which puts a total amount of heat in that's more. But you need to get that instantaneous temperature up a little quicker. But where I've gone back and kind of reflowed the brazing back in, it's not great. I think I may need to seal it up with some epoxy afterwards, but what I'm gonna do is, even though this isn't quite finished, my theory is this is good and solid. I'm gonna let it cool off. I'm gonna grab some pliers and I'm just gonna twist it really hard and see if it breaks off, because the important thing with this is I have a good mechanical bond. I can seal it up with epoxy if I need to. Try to put this where you can see it on the camera. All right, let me get it so it's actually in frame. I'm gonna actually whack on the vice grips. And the vice grips are slipping. It's not coming loose. So yeah, it's ugly. Definitely as it is now, I can see pinholes it would leak, but I could go back and try to braze those up. But the important thing is it's mechanically sound, so I think I'm willing to try it on the real tank. Well, I believe it's time to do the real thing. I've got a hole drilled in here. Now I did have to drill it awful close to, there was an oval there cutting where the fuel went through, and a threaded hole that held the old petcock in. Obviously I couldn't get rid of both of them, so I am gonna have to do something with that threaded hole, but I think I can patch that easy enough with a little extra brazing. I've got a good fit on this. I've got it cleaned up with an acetone, and most importantly, this tank has been drained for quite some time now, and the last several days I put it out in the sun in hot summer days, right in the sun with the petcock removed and the cap off, so it baked out any possible gas fumes that could have been in there, so there's no danger of gas explosions. Well, it's not the prettiest job, but I think it's going to work. I don't see any holes in there. Give you a little bit of a look at it. Not the prettiest, but I think I got the silicon bronze to flow out pretty well. This is my first time using the silicon bronze and doing the TIG brazing. I kind of like it because you can go back and reheat things and kind of rework things a little bit more, where with welding, if you keep doing that, you're just going to melt through. And I didn't warp anything, and I think it's going to work. Well, it's the next weekend. I thought I was going to get some stuff done during the week. Got a little bit done, but nothing too significant. But it's Saturday. I plan on spending the entire weekend working on this, and we're going to make some progress. So, since you last saw this, I did some more brazing. There was one spot where I had a little bit of a leak. I rebrazed that. I meant to get a shot of this before I put the epoxy on it, but I realized that afterwards. So just as an extra layer of caution, I took some, it's called JB Tank Weld. It's the epoxy putty stuff that I smeared all the way around there, made a nice fillet, so I'm making sure that that's not going to leak. Worst case, if it still drips some, I can do some of the sealant that goes in the tank, but I don't think I'm going to need that. I think I'm going to be good. So the goal for today is to continue working on the fuel system and then maybe on the electrical. Actually, you may notice that the bike's more stripped down than it was before. I have taken the entire wiring harness out. I don't need lights. I do plan on making it street legal again sometime in the future, but for now, I want simplistic. Electrical systems are one of those things where things can go wrong, especially out in the salt when things get corroded. So I'm going to do a minimal wiring harness for just what I need. So I've gotten all that out of the way. One of the things I'm going to have to add to that wiring harness is this. This is a fuel solenoid that I'm going to use to shut the fuel off. The rule for the fuel class that I'm in the can run in the unlimited fuel class. You're required to be able to shut the fuel off without your hands leaving the handlebars. So I'm going to wire this electric solenoid into the normal kill switch for the bike, so I can just flip that with my thumb, shut the fuel off, and that should cover that that aspect of the rules. So I've been looking at where to mount this, and I've been playing around with a little piece of cardboard. So I've got these holes right here in the frame. Two of them already have threads in them. One of them I'll just have to put a through bolt in. And I'm thinking I'm going to bend up a little piece of metal. This has got a couple of mounting holes underneath, so I can drill a couple holes, mount it there. I'm going to mount it so that it rests up against it with a little bit of rubber in between it, and maybe also tie it down just because this bracket will have a little bit of flex. Probably tie it down with a zip tie so it can't vibrate. Should be good. So let's cut out a little piece of metal here and bend that up. And of course, I need to get some shorter screws there. Add that to my hardware store shopping list. This will get routed through the frame here to feed both carbs. Lift that up so I can screw that in. There we go. Nice short little line there. So that's what it's going to look like, I think. So the next thing I need to do, other than obviously I need to put all the clamps on here, but before I do that, I'm going to cut and fit my fire shielding. So they say in the rules that all fuel lines must have some fire shielding to them. So I've got this, it's fiberglass cloth on the back, reflective on the front. It's Velcroed, but I'm going to tie it in with some metal zip ties. But for now, all I want to do is cut this to length for each piece. And they do make this in just a slip over cover as well. I thought the Velcro would be nice. Be a lot easier to get in and out of it if I need to. And this is big enough that it should go over my clamps when I put the clamps on this part. It's the advantage of the Velcro kind. I should be able to adjust the size slightly. I think that should pass inspection as far as the fuel system goes. So I think I'm going to call this video done at this point. So the fuel system should be good to go. Next thing I'm going to work on is electrical. I've already started on that a little bit by ripping all the electrical out. Once I get that done, the other things I need to do is my steering stabilizer. I want to put a new chain on, and I've got a different set of sprockets that'll give me a little higher gear ratio. I'm going to put on. I've got a couple that I can experiment with to find the right speed, and new tires, and then I think we're about there. I've got 4 weeks to go, so I need to get busy.